If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Rising from the dark waters of the remote Pacific, far from the trade routes of the modern world, lies a city that shouldn't exist. Constructed from thousands of tons of basalt columns, some weighing as much as 50 tons, it stands as a prehistoric engineering impossibility. To the local Pohnpeians, it is the Venice of the Pacific, a place of ritual and taboo. To the outside world, it's a megalithic mystery that defies the conventional laws of ancient logistics. The legends speak not of pulleys and levers, but of twin sorcerers who commanded the massive stones to fly through the air and settle into place like puzzle pieces. But as modern researchers peel back the layers of moss and myth, they encounter whispers of something even more unsettling. Divers report strange shimmering lights in lagoons, electronic equipment failure among the ruins, and a persistent local belief that the city was built as a gateway for beings who arrived from the stars. Was this coral-crusted labyrinth merely a seat of a lost dynasty, or was it a specialized terrestrial hub designed for non-human navigation? Why did the builders choose a location so isolated, and how did they move millions of pounds of volcanic rock across deep water without the wheel or metal tools? This case file, join the theorists as they get megalithically rock hard for the secrets of Nan Madol.
Welcome to Alien Theorist Theorizing. I'm Braden.
I'm Zell.
And I'm Andrew.
And Dan's been conscripted by the Navy again. He's back floating in the
Iran.
Yeah, he's floating in the fucking.
They're like, we have no one that can turn a wrench. They're like, God damn it, Jim, we need someone that can turn a wrench.
There's only one man for the job.
The guy's got the forearms for it for sure.
Yeah,
He's been wrenching.
Do you
get
think
dick work?
Do you think Dan uses a wrench? No.
No,
Iron
just
grip.
2 fingers.
I mean, you never know what happens with Dan. Sometimes he could be here in 5 seconds.
Yeah, he doesn't know, man. Dan doesn't. Time is a linear disc for Dan. All right.
Time for a robot does not exist.
He is time. He exists at all times instantly. He experiences all things,
all dimensions, and all times at the same time. He is the quantum.
Or he maybe has his first full-time job ever and it's starting to wear him down and he hasn't had a lot of Sanook Mac in a little while.
And he's over 40. He's got to go to the office.
Time change is tough on babies and Dan.
And
geezes, man.
Right?
He's the fucking resident geese of the podcast.
It's true.
100%. He's first over 40 and you can tell. It's really, although someone was commenting on his chiseled jawline last case file.
Dan chews gum nonstop.
Yeah. He's, what is that, as the kids say, fucking chin maxing or whatever.
Oh, looks maxing.
Looks maxing. That's
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Just
That's
chomping.
what Dan's been doing. He just follows all those maxing That's all he does in his spare
That
time.
tracks. I
He's just
honestly, I feel like
maxing
his
everything.
jaws is getting fucking more defined because he's clenching his teeth the whole time with the shit we say.
He's just biting back. Fuck these
Yeah,
guys.
just-
No, we've been good lately. We've been good.
Yeah, we've been good. We haven't
Have
talked
we?
about.
I mean, hey, listen. Fucking Mad Mark tried to race bait us. We didn't get in there. We took it. We didn't get in there.
Dude, I love that clip. I found a clip where I'm gonna post it, and it's where he's like, "They were white. I don't care what anyone says." And then he's like, "And they had black slaves. You know what their nickname was? My face." I'm like,
Oh my god, yeah.
no,
Please don't.
We don't want to
Don't
know.
do this.
We don't want to know.
We don't want to.
Don't
The
do
show's
this.
on its last legs. This is gonna be it.
This will be it. That's it. That's the life.
Who knew Mad Mark?
On that clip, you should zoom in on all our faces before he says it.
That would have been the final thread of life. That would have been it. Instant
The
fucking.
final nail in the coffin
That was
for
it.
Mad Mark himself. Ah, that was funny.
It would have been fitting from a guy named Mad Mark.
Guy's a
though.
beauty.
He was a
I-
beauty, actually.
It wasn't
I liked
as
him a lot.
bad as I thought we were going to go down a dark, deep hole there, and it wasn't near as bad.
No,
as
he
I thought.
no.
he was pretty genuine. He's like, listen, the
Yeah.
story says. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, let's leave it there.
Yeah, sure. Today though, we're getting fucking rock hard, baby.
Rock hard. I want to set the stage for this one.
All right.
I want you to sit there. If you're in your car, close your
Let me
eyes while
undo
you're
Let
driving.
me undo my pants here.
If you're
If
driving,
you're listening,
Light some candles.
lady or gentleman,
while you're
prepare
driving,
yourself.
if you're in your car right now, I want you to close your eyes. Don't pull over. Just close them. Picture this. Imagine this. Imagine a city in
just
the open.
horns going off.
Imagine a city built in the open ocean, not beside it or in it, on it. 100 artificial islands constructed from hundreds of thousands of fucking tons of stone of volcanic basalt. On a coral reef in the middle of nowhere in the Pacific Ocean. No one knows exactly how it was built. No one really knows who first built it. And the people who called it home left behind legends so strange and vivid, they send chills down your spine to this day.
Did you say bath salts?
Bath salts, hundreds of thousands of tons of bath
I was gonna say,
salts.
these guys must have been really fucked up.
Yeah, no
building this
wonder
place.
these guys had such crazy fucking legends.
How else could you lift these stones unless you fucking were on bath salts?
Touche.
I
I feel like they would be delayed by the fact that they would be eating each other the whole time. Right? Like that
well,
would
some
be
people say this.
problematic.
Some people say the building of it took like 400 years, give or
And
take.
Dan,
That
anytime you
tracks.
join late, you should just interrupt with "I'm Dan."
Dan here, oh, he is here.
Easy done.
Imagine
made
a
it.
podcast.
Daylight savings time.
Imagine a podcast where one man,
Called it.
where
I was
one
like,
man is on East time.
I said daylight saving is only tough for babies and Dan.
Yeah.
You fell asleep? Is that what happened?
Yep.
You weren't
Called
in,
it.
You weren't in mid game or something. Fucking
Nope.
Resident
Fell
Geese.
right asleep.
fell right
Resident
asleep.
Geese
Resident Geese. We called it.
having a snooze. Yeah. So, dude, I never Zell before. Like Zell is the king of fucking getting megalithiccally hard.
It's called
I
Nan
never-
Madol. That was the last thing I was going to say. If you don't know,
What is it called?
Nan Madol or Nan Model. How do you want to pronounce this?
Madol.
Nan Madol.
Nan
Madol.
Madol.
It is fascinating. I never have ever even heard of this one before.
It's the eighth wonder of the world, isn't it?
I feel like there's.
Ancient wonder-
I feel like
wonder
everything is eighth, like the eighth. Like everyone's like, we're the eighth wonder of the world. You're like, because there's supposed to be 7 of the ancient world, and every new thing's like it's the 8th.
Buddy,
This
I'm pretty.
is
I
the
thought
eighth.
that fucking Bigfoot we saw in Austin in the Iceman was the 8th wonder of the woman.
Opossums
in the
Rex?
world.
There you go, 100%.
Or Prime?
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I don't know, man. It's one of those. I guess it's like most haunted. You know,
So
it's
where
like
is this
America's
place?
most haunted.
In the
In
middle,
the middle of the fucking ocean,
of
dude.
fucking ocean, middle of the Pacific Ocean, Micronesia,
Federated
Ah,
States of Micronesia.
Yeah.
The smallest of the Nesias.
the best of the Nesias, they would say.
Okay. Smallest.
How do
Tiniest.
these ninjas feel about Taiwan?
Do they call it
question.
Taiwan or do they call it Chinese Taipei? That's the question of the modern age here. Dan, what are your thoughts? You just missed, like, we just pretty much gave every piece of detail you could ever want about this.
As far as Nan Madol, the stanzas, I mean, it's a really interesting place. Like, it's just the fact that it's like when you look at it, like just the structure of it, it's just like it looks like that weird little. I mean, you talked about the little log cabin structure, like the way that's engineered, like it seems to be engineered, like because it's like a lot of the places are just like it's just these huge, long, logs of.
They're columns of basalt.
Yeah, columns of basalt are just like stacked on top of each other, and then they fill it in, or it seems to some of the structures at least have been just filled in with just pulverized coral, sand, and dirt, and then that's how you would basically form a surface for them to. It's what they feel.
It's an insane thing because there's islands everywhere, and what they decided was we're going to build a floating island. We're going to pull these stones from tens or hundreds of kilometers away, however, weighing between, one person could carry them to, 40, 50, 60 ton columns of this fucking volcanic basalt. We're going to ship it across the ocean. We're going to pile it somehow down. We're going to set a foundation. We're going to build a tidal break around it. And then we're going to have this all connected with a small workforce with no source of fresh water or.
It's easy to do these things when you have giant magical roosters to fucking carry the columns, right?
I mean, yeah. The city is like,
dude. I
mythical.
when I saw this and started reading about it, and after all the stuff we've talked about, I was like, God damn it! I was like, there's a fucking world-spanning civilization that got wiped out. Like this, these islands are way too small to have this kind of fucking. This to me looks like a port. Like an ancient port.
But a giant, dude, this is 2 times the size of the Vatican City. This is huge. Fucking massive, dude.
It's a massive complex.
Huge and huge, and most of it is covered in mangroves and overgrown, and nature's overtaking it, and the slow rising tide water has a lot of it submerged, and it's been known about for a while, but they've just recently finally done LiDAR on it in 2019. But what I like about this, not only is it built with these megaliths and makes me rock hard when I read about it and watch a documentary, but the amount of lore and myth and the founding of it. I don't know if you guys really got into it, but the founding legend of I'm going to butcher these names.
Agartha, right?
Olispa and Olaspa.
Yeah, the two fucking sorcerers. The twin sorcerers.
Twin sorcerers founded Nan Madol. They arrived on canoe from a mysterious land. This is kind of like the Quetzalcoatl, like Central American lore that Graham Hancock talks about. In that case, it was one person. In this case, 2 people. They come from a land afar and they build this great city. It's also
Anunnaki lore. If you think about these fucking 2 brothers all the time, one's the fucking scientist, one's the
right. Exactly. They wanted the scientist and the what did Mark call him, the other guy? Fuck.
Okay.
Scientist and the warmonger?
Yeah, one of the 2. But they're on a mission. They wanted to build a sacred altar to their god. I can't even pronounce it. Nahishahan Sapwa.
Sounds just like it.
Yeah, I nailed it.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Andrew?
I know exactly what you mean.
Pretty much it was their god of agriculture, and they wanted to build on the reef, but every time the ocean would wash away their work. So, like any good sorcerer does, you turn to magic. And then through the magic, it changes everything. They did some magical incantation and commanded these massive basalt boulders to float and levitate into position to shore up their altar so it would not get washed away.
Don't forget about the giant magic roosters.
We're going to get to those too. Roosters and dragons and...
Oh my.
My camera froze, but I'm still here.
Die?
Yeah, the story I read is they used magic to levitate and fly these stones in place, but they also, some of the stories use a dragon or sound waves of varying pitch to levitate these things, which would kind of make sense with other tales of the sound being a thing.
That's and all these old ancient cultures, some type of sound spoke into existence, some type of vibrating frequency melted the stones and molded them. But in this one, this megalithic structure is a little different though. It's not like they carved so much the stone. The stone is that shape, and they somehow broke it and transported it. So it's a little different, but it's still nonetheless the engineering, get those stones across the water, develop a breakwater, foundations.
Well, there's like some of these stones are up to 50 tons, man.
Tons.
Like insane.
So the
Again, and this is in the middle of nowhere, a small, tiny island. Like it's not like, and the island's not smooth. Like for the people that argue, like, build the pyramids, and they'd be like, yes, we can kind of mimic kind of ancient tools that kind of lift these kind of beams. This is like a rough little island. Like there's not enough room to fucking kind of build these things that you would need from like everything I've looked at that to move these things into place.
Well, it's very similar to like, and it's in the Pacific as well, right? It's Rapa Nui, right? Like,
yeah,
it's very curious how they get the stone or, stones of that weight and size and move them across water. Like
they walked, those statues just walked across.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, that's like the origin myths of this are just fucking cool. And then what do you want to get to? The engineering. Let's go with the engineering of these fucking, like, how can they quarry these rocks? What do they say? They've identified sites where they likely got these. What do they call it? The Sokas Rock?
I think that was one of the most likely places. I mean, they've done more than a few studies about these rocks. And what was the type of, there was a really cool, I forgot to put it in my notes, but there was a cool process that they can do now where they basically, it's like identifying exactly where the rock came from. Like you can just, you can compare it to its spectral profile to where another place is, like, and like, this is where they got the stones, or this is where they got the rocks. But yeah, it's like the places that they did get them are still like, at least 10 miles away from the location where they have, where Nan Madol stands. And it's like, you still had to get these huge columns, these huge heavy columns of basalt from there. I think the prevailing theory about how they cut these huge columns was like they used a type of like a cold
alien
shock
space laser.
Yeah, Jewish space lasers.
Whoa. Dan.
Israeli
Call you Mad
space
Dan
lasers
from now on.
All right.
What you had I guess they said that they use like they would build fires or something like that, then they use cold seawater, throw it on there, and then shock the columns, and then they would just kind of fall off.
They would just fucking move in place with the shock of the heat and cold.
No, well, I think it's called it's called sculling. Fuck, I have to look that.
So using like a rapid expansion of
Yeah.
It was like
heat.
a thermal. They would use like thermal
Sculling?
shock the rock, and then like the
crack
columns would
it
like
off.
snap off, like because basalt, like it. A lot of places, because I mean, if you look up other places that have the similar, like the
we have it
geological
here
features.
locally, Dan.
Yeah, right.
If you're ever in West Kelowna and you hike Mount Bushry, there's a spot on, because Mount Bushry is an extinct volcano or dormant volcano, and there's a basalt field, and it's like those hexagon giant columns that seem like someone like carved them. They're just on the trail. The first time I seen them, I was like, "What the fuck are these?" And there's
it's like that Giant's Causeway, I think was the one that's in the UK, and then like other places like where they have basalt, and like they have natural columns of just basalt. It's just the way it forms, and that a lot of it will break off in these like long, these long geometrically precise logs, which is interesting. And so like some of them are saying like they might have been able to just like pick up some of these logs, like they would have just been laying out on the ground. They still have to
Easy
move
to do
them,
when
but
you
it's
got
still
giants
like,
and magic.
Yeah, of course.
Atlanteans.
Giant roosters.
Mm-hmm.
You're just screaming at them, and they just levitate.
Well, like the thing with some of these, though, like 40,
Banshee.
50 tons, and obviously this culture was great. They were sailors.
Dude, they're called
Wizards of the sea.
Micronesia.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These aren't big people.
The little hobbits. But they had.
I mean, they were engineers, though, right? Like, didn't they have some like crazy channel system?
Well, I was going to get to that too, because,
Like,
well, we're there. Let's get to it. I like that a lot, actually. So originally, I got a kind of a timeline of the discovery. Where do I have it? One of these tabs. So in 1910, the first complete map was done by a German explorer called Paul Hambruck. And then since then, nothing really happened until like the late 80s, and they got underwater guys in there doing surveys. In the mid 80s, they had some more investigations conducted by J. Stephen Athens, and it is found to be an imposing megalithic complex composed of over 90 rectilinear islets. So 90 separate man-made islands in this thing. And then it wasn't until 2019 that they used LiDAR on this whole, not just the man-made stuff, but like the shoreline of the actual island that's beside. What was the island called? Anyone have that up? It was called Nanway,
Yeah.
I believe. Anyways, and as Andrew said, through this LiDAR, they found something that's equally as complex engineering-wise, and it was like a rainwater storage system and like an agricultural like aqueduct. And they had like low-lying places where they think they grew certain types of fruit and other and then they said the engineering on just this like causeway, this aqueduct, was just as great as the fucking floating island itself. So that's just 7 years ago.
It's like Venice, man.
It's wild that we're having this kind of discovery, because like when you look into it, you're like, you feel like we would have known it about this for so long. It's so recent.
It's interesting too, because you try to think about the area and think about like other like cultures in the Pacific Islands and, you know, artifacts and all, and like, you know, civilizations, whatever. No one else had this type of technology around there, really. Like the canal systems and stuff like that. You don't see that from there.
Well, I mean,
like
we don't see it, but that what makes me think like if they just LiDAR'd this island, and there's hundreds of these islands around there. Maybe not on the same level as this one, but like, what else did they have? It's like the Amazon. Yeah. They're doing LiDAR on the Amazon, and they're finding like cities that would have held 100 to 300,000 people at one time.
It's crazy. You're telling me you slept 8 hours straight last night?
Didn't wake up once. First time in like 8 years.
All right. What are these things?
They're called Sleepy Time Advanced Gummies from Moo.com.
So you just get high and go to sleep? THC's always made me weird, Nancy.
That's what I thought too. But it's not just THC, it's CBD and CBN too.
And it actually knocks you out?
Not like a pill where you feel drugged. It's more like your brain finally shuts up.
Wow. Nice. But what about the morning? Foggy, fuzzy, tired?
That's the thing. No grogginess. I wake up and I'm just awake.
And it's legal though?
100%. Totally federally legal, like 2018 Farm Bill legal.
Where do people get these?
Just search Sleepy Time Gummies on Mood.com and use the code ALIEN to get 20% off your first order.
Yeah, I need to try this. And if it doesn't work for me, can I get my money back?
Absolutely. They give you 100 days to try all their stuff.
Okay, I'm ordering these right now.
Do it and report back, good buddy.
Because, I mean, isn't mangrove like one of the faster growing fucking plants?
Pretty quick.
Like it would just take over. If you had no people there clearing them out after, a generation, it'd just be overgrown, be gone.
Yeah. And like a lot of like that city still has like just a lot of superstition that surrounds that area. Just the way that's been built. Like it's been completely, that city had been completely abandoned for a long time. Like you guys mentioned before, like there is the history of Nan Madol is, at least the ancient history, is all from oral tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Is back then most of those Pacific Island cultures, like they didn't have a written language, just like the Rapa Nui, like they didn't have a written down language. It was mostly.
Well, I was reading something that said that they believed that if you finished your story, like you finished telling your story, you were no longer useful and then you would die. Yeah, I learned about that in one of the documentaries I was watching. So that's why, like, yes, it's all oral history and you never really get the full detailed story because that is the reason. But
yeah, like I guess they could be one of the beliefs but that's how they kept their traditions. That's how they kept their histories. And so, yeah, you have a lot of it that, may or may not be completely accurate, but it is stuff that we have, at least that we know, like the names of you guys talked about the Salvador already, like the
sorcerers.
Did you guys talk about that? No, the Sautalor were like the ruling class, like that. But that's what the twin sorcerers were kind of like the head of,
The
or
start
at
of
least
that.
the start of that. The Sautalor are what were known as like the ancient rulers of that place. Like they came over, the two sorcerers, established this social hierarchy where the Sautalor were the kings, and then the originally, the main, I guess, like the majority of scientists or archaeologists believe that who have studied Nan Madol, they said like this place was especially like kind of a priest king city where the kings would live there, and then they would have like they'd also have their priest class like there, so they could keep them under their gaze or whatever.
It's insane to me too, because it's like it's not very big. Like the average diameter of the island is 17 to 21 kilometers wide. It's not very big.
That whole island that this is just off of, like this complex. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so it's like when we're talking about like ruling class and stuff, it's like, I just find it crazy that it's not like there's more structures found there that would like kind of dictate like like that big of a thriving civilization. There's really like just this site. Like that's what I kind of found was weird. It was like I didn't read much else on there being like, oh, the island's like riddled, like the Amazon, riddled everywhere. Like this was obviously like a ton of like a hustle and bustling. Like that was one of the things that kind of stuck out for me that I thought was strange.
Well, yeah, like there's no more of these like megalithic. This megalithic structure was the national project. You know what I mean? Like everything else around it was thatched hutch probably and has disappeared. But like there's tons of islands around, and this civilization would have inhabited all of them, and they would have been seafaring. But even then, they think only like 30,000 people.
Yeah, and then the city is like, so even on that island, it is like considered to be pretty isolated, because it's not like it had any, like we said, like it didn't have any like running access to like real easy access to fresh water or food or anything like that. All of it had to be boated in. All of it had to be imported into the city. I mean, they're thinking that, this Nan Madol, from what they can identify, is like it had like two sections. Like there was a geographic segregation between there. You had like the lower sector and the upper sector, and where in the lower sector it was like the administrative heart of the city, and this is where you would have the actual like the great lord of the city would live, and then where the nobility would be invited to stay in that city. So it is, type of status kind of thing to come in, and, your high status, probably, probably from other tribes or something like it, you would bring in like your hostages or whatever, like that you have from other kingdoms or, other high profile families, and they would live there.
You had a butler's quarter.
Yeah. And then you would have like, I guess there's another part. There's the tomb part of the city as well, because there's a large, like there's a complex where there's like a number of tombs have been found, where they would have like this was reserved for like the priests and royal burials, like where they would bury their dead.
And they had like the walls in there were like 7 feet tall. Mm-hmm. Like it's a massive tomb.
And like all of that stuff is still to this day is absolutely like the locals on the island, like their beliefs are like this place is very much haunted. Like it's very like it's a no-go zone for most of the things. Like you have to participate in like most of them at least like a pretty elaborate ceremony. I don't know if you guys watched the same documentary I did with what was it, Alexander Lin,
the National Geographic
Albert
one.
Lin.
Yeah.
The guy with the one leg.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate, like fucking ad for one leg prosthesis. That guy is fucking diving and climbing. He's on helicopters.
Climbing and shit, like not slowing down. Like it was badass.
It was awesome.
He's a cool guy.
And but I thought that ceremony that had him go with the Sakau route, where it's the Sakau route being like it's
like numb your mouth or something.
It's a it's like a mild it's like a mild narcotic, I guess. It's like it's a root that's
like cocoa leaf
tree that's grown there. Yeah, and then like what they do is they have like a pounding ceremony where they pound it on like a sheet of hibiscus, and then that gives it kind of like, that's what they say, kind of gave it
let's fucking move some stones,
all
boys.
Milky looking, right? Like
but it was really funny because they're doing the ceremony. He's like, yeah, we have to do this, and it gave him kind of like, it does like it does elicit a type of like a bit of a
You got high.
drunk feeling. Yeah, you get high. And then, but it was funny because like he's drinking it and you could tell he was like feeling it. Albert Lynn's like there, like, oh man, like, and then like in the background, they had this shot of like these two old aunties, like just sitting there, just sipping on it. They're like, this is pretty good. Yeah. They're like, pretty good. But yeah, it's like you have to, in order to enter the city properly, like you have to go through the ceremony where you have to ask permission from like the ancient spirits of the place. And it's like, you always have to do this. There's very much like a kind of like a taboo that surrounds the area still, and some areas specifically of Nan Madol where it's like you don't stay there overnight. Like
yeah, they refer to it as the city of ghosts or city of ghouls.
Well, the spirits they call them anidso, and that's why if you don't do the proper precautions.
If you don't get high, hold on. This is the only place in the world if you don't get high, you see the ghosts.
If you don't get high before you go, you don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they said in the documentary, at least. There's reports of people going there without doing the ceremony and you just don't come back.
That is some fucking high level peer pressuring.
What do you mean you don't want to take the LSD, Andrew?
Yeah, dude, you fucking take it.
You fucking die if you don't.
That's crazy, dude. You don't take this, you're gonna die.
Right, because and fishermen who are local, they avoid all the canals at night because they see strange lights, and some people even say like sea turtles become even bigger around this. They're like fucking monster. I read this one thing. They say like this a magic that makes the sea turtles grow extra large, and they're guarding the tomb.
This is where the fucking kaiju's come from.
And the tomb of I think we kind of missed this part.
Naduaz.
And that's so you had the two brothers in the Saudulur dynasty, right? And after that, that rules for a while, and after a bunch of years, the fall of that is they pretty much refer to him as the thunder warrior or the god of thunder. Fucking pretty much Thor. This guy shows up with 333 warriors, destroys the dynasty, which was pretty much there for 500 years. And he decentralized the power and created a chieftain system. And that's actually echoes like the governance that's there today, they say. And after his death, he was like deified. I can't help think it's Maui from Moana for some reason.
Right?
That's just what I get.
Yeah, but like this tomb is crazy. I mentioned earlier, it's 7 meters tall. Right? Like
giant. For a giant.
Massive tomb.
Well, that's
so
one of the things that
huge.
the locals were scared of too, is like fucking ghost giants.
Well, they said that the brothers who built the place too were also giant. They were sorcerer giants.
That echoes other myths where all these fucking guys
look at the
are
Rapa Nui fucking
bigger than
stones.
the rest.
Those are giants.
I mean, if you're just like to dumb it down to like this thing, like we can, we build with certain size of stones because we can manage them. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like this guy just fucking could do it.
Yeah, we have excavators. Like it's
well, even before, like if you go back, like medieval churches, Gothic cathedrals and stuff, like we had a structure and we used it because we could build that way. It took generations to build anything, but we worked with what we had. So these people, it was difficult, obviously. Some accounts said it takes hundreds of years. They've done carbon. They found like some carbon, like some, I guess like remnants of fire on the island, and they carbon date that. And they're like, oh, it's between X amount, but plus or minus a couple hundred years.
Do they have any real idea of the structure? Like
the structure?
Like of like when the structure was placed there?
No, because as Dan said, like it's all oral. There's nothing written down. And even like in that documentary, they said like you'll never, all the scientists come here, they want to know, but you'll never know because no one has the full piece of the picture. No one has the full tradition orally. It's like
we do, and this is Atlantis.
I mean, that's one of the theories. You're in the middle of the Pacific, so it wouldn't be Atlantis. So would this be Lemuria or Mu?
Agartha.
Yeah.
Because I said it was Atlantis,
This is
Lemuria,
the opening
and
to
Mu.
the fucking center of the earth.
Well, it's funny you say that because there's another myth that says underneath this place, I had it here somewhere, it's like connects to the underworld.
Yeah, it's the
man.
Agartha,
It's
right?
it's where you have the one true king of Gondor has to go to collect the dead men of Dunarrow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some of them. That's who's hiding there.
Some oral accounts speak of an underground realm beneath the islands, a world beneath the world, connecting Nan Madol to the domain of the dead.
I think, yeah, and I think some of that might have popped up from the like the actual like geographical formation of like right as you go, I guess like, you know, just a few meters out from like the, you know, past the, you know, the break walls or whatever, like you get out there, it drops off like precipitously. Like it goes like, it drops down like thousands of feet, like underwater. Like it's just whoop, like it just goes like straight down.
Oh yeah. These are all the tops of old volcanoes. It's like Hawaii. Yeah. It just plunges to 7,000-8,000. So
it's like, I think they said it's kind of like that the blue hole kind of thing. It's like, you know, it's just like, it's just cool this thing. huge, just a huge steep drop off, like sudden drop off.
What
like
do they call it?
The seafloor, it just goes
atoll, right? On top of an old volcano in the sea that's been blown off. Mm-hmm. It's an atoll.
Yeah.
So it's just like a kind of a flat kind of island with coral reef, and then just drops off into the abyss.
And it's just like, yeah, it's so that's one of the things where there'd be in like, you know, the legends would be like, yeah, that there's something, you know, this is a part of, you know, there's something all the way down there. And I mean, they've only done, what is it? They've only done like, they've done underwater exploration on that someplace like with drones and stuff. So like just recently, they've gone down there and checked out what's going on. But it's like, yeah, that's like one of the legends that covers that at least. It's like, yeah, it could have popped up from that because it's like, yeah, it's your city's just built there. You know, it's built like Braden said, it's built as like a huge port. Like where were all these boats going?
Yeah, like that's the thing. It just doesn't seem. It seems so weird to just if this is you just plunking a seafaring, super intelligent civilization like smack dab in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, this seems like a fucking port city on the way to something like we talked about on Rapa Nui and Easter Island. Like, you know, that was probably a chain of an archipelago. Archipelago.
Yeah, there you go.
Archipelago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was probably connected with a whole bunch of smaller islands, and so you could kind of easily travel between the two. Part of me wonders if this is kind of the same thing. If you were to like reduce sea levels, well, I guess you couldn't because like this, it looks like it was made to be in the sea. So it's like,
well, it's definitely not like pre-Younger Dryas, like where the sea levels were 5. What? No, can't be because it's all coral.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's like but it still seems strange that it's like, it seems like it would be to connect someone or like some group, but it's just right in the middle of fucking nowhere. It just seems weird to have that kind of advanced civilization at this point.
Middle of nowhere. Like, who's that first motherfucker, you know? Say, like, you go with, like, a linear timeline of humanity. They develop, like, the first ocean canoe. They're on wherever, Indonesia, and the guy's like, you know what? I'm going for it. And he just goes. Group of, like, you know, takes 10, 20, 30 people. Do you ever get back? Because that's a one-way trip. Probably.
I'd say the majority of the time, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to take like a small like village of people and just set out. Like, well, hopefully we land somewhere cool.
That's scary.
Right. And then you're like,
they try and go a little further until you just don't come back.
And then you're like, you know what? Let's just lug some of these 50-ton stones and make our own.
Yeah, that's the part that always gets me. It's like these dudes just show up. The Saudelor just show up. You know, as far as like the stories are concerned and like the history is like these Saudelor just show up and they're like, build this city, build this architectural marvel, do this incredibly and labor intensive thing for no real good reason. It needs your god of agriculture. Like our god of agriculture needs this city built.
Need it right here
now, right here. Yeah. It's going to be incredibly difficult.
But let's not build it on the island where you could probably do some agriculture. Let's build it out in the fucking ocean. It has to
be an extreme logistically challenging. And we have to make it right here out in the middle of the water. Well, like and they're saying they ruled for like 400 years, and I can see why people eventually got fed up with it. They're just like this. Wait a minute.
What are we doing?
That's a site like this would take so long. Like if we're thinking that like in just regular no sorcerers involved, it would take so long to fucking build this site. so
At least to
long.
build it out. Yeah. Whichever the structures, I didn't see if they had a guess of like which ones became first, but yeah, it's like, it would have taken
They say hundreds
thousands and thousands of man hours.
They say hundreds of years to build it. They're like around like 1,200 to 1,500 tons of stone a year with the workforce they estimate. So this is just an ongoing project that no one in their lifetime would really see much progress on. You would get a few columns down, build a few
Dude,
things.
how do you keep the plans going? That's to me is always the craziest thing.
Well, it's got to be. There's only a couple options. Either it was easy for them to do, and it was did it way faster than we think, or it was just iron fucking thumb, just whipping people, keep it like a ruling class and pretty much slaves. That's like,
Well, that's what they say. There was like a dictatorship back then.
yeah, had
right?
to have
Like,
been. And that's what the God of Thunder in that lore, like he came and ended that and blah, blah, blah. But it is like hundreds of years, generations and generations of people building something that they would never see the end of. Like at least the pyramids, if you go with the traditional thing, it's like in 20 years, like this is done, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking done.
It's like done in the lifetime of the king, and you have a huge work. But yeah, it's like this thing was like it would have been just a generational construction where it's like, yeah, your dad and your dad's dad and your dad's dad's dad and your dad's 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 dad like all worked on this.
Dude, like, I don't even know.
It's like
you would build. You'd be like, I don't even know what this is.
it's like modern day tradesmen. It's like, you know, I'm sure my dad did this to me, and I'll probably do it to my son too. It's like you drive around and be like, built that. But for this guy, to be like, carve that one piece.
Yeah.
It took 20 years.
That stone there,
Carve that one.
me and the boys listed that
set
one.
that motherfucker.
You see that 8 feet of foundation right there? Did that.
Took my whole life. My whole 22 years of life. Took it all.
Yeah, about 100 of us lugged that day and night for 4 years to get it into place. That was me. He's like, yeah, bullshit, Dad.
Nah, you couldn't do that. Yeah, it's a fucking wild thing. So I guess if you go not with the traditional theory, I mean, where does that leave you? Like if it wasn't just this, say it was like the same thing, like it was there and these people settled there later and took it over a bit. Maybe.
I think this is a post Younger Dryas civilization. Like whatever happened in that time, if we're going like Zell's Younger Dryas theory of like there's a giant mud flood or whatever, but
yeah,
whatever
I'll take credit for the whole theory.
Globe-faring race was wiped out or decimated and separated, kind of, you know, split and fractioned and went different places. Like maybe a group went to Turkey and put together Gölbekli Tepe, and like maybe a group settled here and they're like, well, listen, there's fish, there's plenty of fishing, the weather's inclement, like we can build a little port city, and the civilization just, because it's spread and all the resources, it's like you kind of just watch, you start off with some really good tech at the beginning to build these kind of things, and then within a couple generations, like people don't know how to use it, and it goes the way of magic, when really it was maybe like a small group of these like survivors from the mud flood. It's kind of where my brain goes.
Mud flood.
Yeah, but so in that theory, I always we talk about all the time, and I'm always thinking about it. It's just like one guy shows up or two guys, like a few guys. Are they hauling like a ship full of technology with them? Or it's either that or they're just magic. Like they had like
We got magic roosters.
Yeah, but if technology, you know, it's impossible to, what is it? What's the quote word? To figure, like to differentiate between magic with when technology's so great. Like
it would be magic to us.
Yes.
It's like some just like little key that you just like turn the frequency and it can melt stones. Like,
yeah, like so if they had some sort of advanced technology and they're like, we'll just use it and we'll rule, and we're gonna make this fucking little, like we're gonna fucking make a little island here and rule over this these people here and, you know, whatever, live out our days. We're not gonna share the magic with them.
Why there? That's the biggest, weirdest spot for me.
What's the weather like there? Looks pretty nice.
It's probably
all the pictures.
amazing weather. What are we?
So
Not
just-
far off the
just
equator,
resort?
probably.
Just the Anunnaki fucking resort? Is that
Yeah, the
this part?
fucking-
Like, yeah.
We're probably right on the equator here, like so close. We got to be. Where's the fucking?
I guess they said it's one of the wettest places on Earth. Like it receives like 300 inches of rain annually.
Just rains every day for 2 hours.
So just
Yeah,
It's
probably.
funny because
for
that
2 hours.
documentary, it wasn't raining.
just like that one. It was just that 1 week that was really nice.
Well, I mean, that solves your problem of not having fresh water then if it's raining that much.
It probably rains just like every day. Let's say one of those, because it's like in Hawaii, like it rains every day.
One
but it's just
side of
like
the island
yeah,
in Hawaii rains every day. Like well, I've only been to Maui, but on the east side, like that, there was like the black sand beach, the road to Hana or whatever. Rained. I camped there for 3 days. Rained every day. So by that standard, it rains every day.
Mm-hmm.
But like rains insanely for not long,
It was like half an hour. Yeah. Just dumps.
and then you're like, then it's nice back hot.
Yeah, that's when you eat lunch. And it's when you take your lunch break from laying down 50-ton basalt columns.
I mean, I go back to
You're
this.
not eating lunch when you're fucking on ripping basalt. It's the least you're concerned.
Fucking hopped up on some cow.
Well, bring that back, actually, the basalts. The basalt columns. Like how do you move the big ones? So if they have rafts and canoes, we know that. But obviously you couldn't put it on the raft. There's no way. It would not work. So theories are you'd have to maybe like sling it underneath and use like the water's buoyancy to like drag it along, I guess, somehow. That might work because you could not put it on your ship. The 50-ton one, there's no way you would have a ship big enough to support that.
No.
I mean, these questions have been answered. I don't understand why we bring them back up.
Space lasers?
Giant rooster.
Giant roosters and magic.
Okay, is a rooster? I thought it was a dragon.
I saw
Rooster
dragon
and
too.
or dragon.
Dragon. And
one I
the
read,
dragon's what
roosters.
could move and crack and melt the stone.
It breathed on it. Like it would breathe on it and
Cracked
crack them, but it would also like allow the columns to like lighten and be moved. Is that how the legend goes?
Because like part of me is like maybe the dragon lore is like maybe they had some sort of fucking Tesla flamethrower kind of thing, you know what I mean? And then the stories of that down there's like fucking fire breathing. It was a dragon.
Yeah, because like one of them like breathes, cracks a stone, and then they can magically the dragon can levitate the stone. Like
Shit.
what if it just it makes no sense. Like the small ones, you can get guys and you get them on a canoe and schlep them over. But some of the big ones are up like I think 6 meters, 18 feet in the air.
It's crazy.
Like suspended. Like they have these like fucking
And just getting them down off of like some of the even some of the closest places that they had them from was like just the other side of like that small island that the islet that the Nan Madol is a part of. Like you still had to go like you have to go around the island. Like you'd have to get it from like one side of the island to the opposite side to get it there.
How long are these 50-ton stones?
It's a good question.
Because it says like I'm reading an estimate. I punched into the grok to be like, how many men to like safely lift 50 tons? And it's like conservative estimate, 2,000 to 2,500 men.
No, you would need leverage and ropes and you would need technology. You could.
Yeah, you need at least simple machines.
You couldn't get
like,
enough people on the
moving,
thing to lift it. Like you would do diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Like that. Maybe the boys bench press it. Let's we can stack it.
Just popping hernias.
If we can get one corner up, we can get
all of our intestines shooting out our fucking belly buttons.
That's the way to go, man. Just
like a fucking one of those pop out snakes as we're lifting it.
And I think I said the wrong name. The island's actually it's Pompeii, a different. It's not Pompeii of like
no, not Pompeii.
Mediterranean Pompeii.
Pompeii. Pohn. Pay.
Mm-hmm. That's the actual island. I said the name of one of the towns on this island.
But like, aren't some of the 50-ton ones like out in the water?
They're all over, like,
right? Which makes it then that like, to me, insanely more difficult. Because if you were like, oh, the 50-ton ones are only on land, like
I feel like the on land is harder.
Well, how do you lift 50 tons once you get it out to the water? Like, say you do have something that can float it, then you got to lift it once you're out there. To me, I'm like, that seems insane. Right? Because now you're like you said, you need levy or levers and pulleys and that kind of stuff. Like once you get out in the water, it's like you're not really doing that on the water. It's not like you have a fucking crane on a boat, right?
As far as we know, they didn't have crane. I don't even know if they even had I was reading a bunch of stuff said they didn't even have access to a wheel or a pulley at this location. They never found any, at least. Like they've never found old tech that would say that they had wheel and pulley. But I guess you could roll it on logs or some type of stone. A round stone on a hard surface, you can move a lot of weight on that, actually. The guy at fucking Coral Castle would ever prove that. Like if you get it on the right like leverage point on like hard surface, you can like actually like turn like a 10-pound stone with one hand. Yeah. But it's got to be set up like perfect for it.
10-ton stone. You said 10-pound.
10-ton.
Yeah, I was like, I can turn a 10-pound stone with one hand. No problem. I can probably lift it over my head.
Can you? Can you?
Yeah, hell yeah. 10-pound stone, no problem.
Probably struggle with those panels that you put up behind you there. Yeah, so I mean, as far all these ancient megaliths, just like how, if there's nothing written down, how? It's like the pyramids. Like they've found like barracks and like they have, they've put their good theories together. But if you built for something so magnificent out of stone and you had hieroglyphs as Egyptians, you never found like something out of like rock, something timeless like the pyramids that tell you how they were built. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
totally.
And like in this place, you had the technology to move this stuff, but you didn't have technology to make didn't have written language. I don't know. This seems,
or any kind of like passing down history. Like that's so strange.
No pictographs or anything of the nothing. There's nothing here. Just oral tradition, and that's it.
What about? Did they have any art or anything like that there? That's one thing I couldn't find.
Yeah, I'm sure they did, but there was nothing mentioned.
They showed I thought they showed something about there's like
trying to find some examples.
Whole
I couldn't find anything.
Work of art,
pictograms.
Yeah. They were fucking stacking stones. I mean, it doesn't. It's so weird the lack of evidence. Like how much. I mean, if it gets that much rain, I wonder how much gets fucking wrecked by erosion over the years.
Yeah.
Well, we know now from the LiDAR how it's even more complex than the initial mapping was. It's like now they got these aqueducts and they got a whole engineering marvel buried in mangroves and you can't see it. And unfortunately, this is right at sea level. It's like any type of sea level rise, this place is toast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we got a few even if sea levels only rise a meter, 3 feet ish.
Right. So then this would be after the flood, if there was a fucking giant mud flood event,
or if you go with sea levels were 300 or 400 feet lower, then this would have been built well above sea level. And
yeah, but doesn't that not make sense for some of the usage? Like from what I was reading, the theories is kind of like that they use some of it as aqueducts and for maybe fishing and stuff like that. So it's like it made sense to be in the water.
Yeah, well, it does. I agree.
Right?
For fish, that's your only real massive source of food would be fish for a big population.
So then if you go with that, then it's it seems like this structure would be built after, if there was an event. That's why I'm saying it makes more sense that if there was an event that fractured a globe spanning civilization, that the remnants of that civilization kind of went everywhere and tried to do their own thing for a little bit with what remained.
Well, yeah. Just for me is that one's the post Younger Dryas, what's that fucking awesome dude? Randall Carlson does all that work and meltwater pulse 1A and 1B and stuff.
Yeah.
As far as geological time, it was rapid sea level rise, but it was really over 500 years. So it's not like this event triggered and these people went and in one generation built all this stuff around the world. It would have been generations later, unless our timelines are wrong and the flood really, everything rose instantly. I don't know. Yeah, it's a head scratcher because no one knows. Even the locals are someone built it. You'll never really know though. You'll never really know how or why who.
It's also just so shocking that you're we're finding this kind of stuff. So anytime we're making these kind of new discoveries, it just blows me away that it's people live there. You know what I mean? People live on the island. It's how are we not did we not know and find out about some of this stuff earlier? I guess because LiDAR and stuff is more prevalent, but it's still shocking to me.
It's like they knew. I guess they've known about it since like the 1900s, or like a little bit of the end of the 19th century or whatever, like about like a little late 1800s or whatever. And then they saw like then during the 1940s,
like World War
20s,
pilots
30s, like
seen it too.
yeah, that's when they actually got an aerial view of like how complex it actually was, and I think that's where it got its that's where it says it's got the Venice of the Pacific moniker that kind of hangs on to it. But yeah, it's just some of these structures that were found kind of just by accident, and then like the natives knew about them and told people about them, but they're like, oh, it's just like it's some rocks there. But then when you see them from above, you're like, wait, no, it's just way bigger than that. And then we get LiDAR. Access to LiDAR now, and it's like drones, and you can see like you can map these out more. You have more precise mapping, more detailed mapping of these structures and these complexes, and you're like, no, these were really big.
Huge, dude. And like huge and perfectly suited for like the tides and stuff. They're like in a crisscross log pattern, like stacked. So they didn't build them solid. They knew exactly what they were doing. Not bad for people who didn't have wheels, levers, and pulleys. So goes some archaeologists, because they're like, we haven't found any yet. We don't really know how they moved them. It's all oral tradition. So if they didn't have that stuff,
and like, no offense
magic.
to oral tradition, probably the worst way to keep history.
It's not the best.
That's the best. It's fucking ancient telephone game.
This is why. Yeah,
Shit
this is why we got.
That's why you get giant roosters and dragons, buddy. This makes way better history.
Imagine our modern history passed down through Braden. He'd be like, let me. I can make this a little better. I can amp this up a bit.
I'm actually 1,000 years old.
I can ham this up a bit. I'm God. Someone's always taking the role of God or sorcerer and enslaving the rest of their people under their fucking will. I don't know. It's a cool one though. This is something I looked at like a long time ago, kind of forgot about it. And then I just randomly came across that documentary on Nat Geo. It's like, damn, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a cool looking site.
But yeah, I agree that it's not. It probably is. If there was a global spanning civilization pre-Younger Dryas, like pre-Diluvian, they say. This one seems it doesn't really fit like those like Pumapunka and Sacsayhuaman and Egypt and all those ones that have like the molded like multi-angular stone that's seemingly like locked together. Different building style, but just as impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, it does like you said, it doesn't quite fit the mold of the other ones, but it's
just
like its
lost
size.
Tech.
Yeah, lost tech, but it's definitely something after to me, like after the fact. I feel it in my guts when I look at this one, because some of the theories I was reading, I was like, maybe some theories are it's over 14,000 years old, and I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think this one. Like, I don't think it's as older than Gobekli Tepe.
Well, in the defense of that though, they're using stone that's undateable. You know what I mean?
It's true.
How old is the volcanic rock? Like, undateable. Is it 10 million years old? Is it 1 billion years old? I think to a point you can't really tell.
I think they had I know we talk about carbon dating, but we talked about uranium thorium dating. Like, that's the other method that they've been starting to use.
Yeah, chemical signature like that.
I think they've been using that, and it's like when people say like, "Oh, you can't date stone," and it's like, well, now we can. It's like, I think the breakdown of what is it, uranium or thorium into uranium is a lot more
like half-life over millions of years.
Yeah, like they're like you can get pretty accurate like from that, or at least like from
within
just like
10,000 years or whatever.
Maybe less than that, but yeah, it's like, but you can get a good idea of like what some of these are, and then, but yeah, a lot of this stuff that they do have, like at least dating like the human habitation, is like, yeah, just getting
you need carbon or something.
You need carbon, usually stuff,
pottery,
from campfires or stuff like that. Like, you're finding that.
Do we find any bananas on this island that aren't supposed to be there?
Oh yeah, the transported banana plant or whatever it was from Rapa Nui.
Any bananas? That's what I want to know.
They didn't find any of those tablets though, like on Rapa Nui, which was like a undiscovered language. So a little different.
Yeah, that's the no language, man. That fucking blows me away.
We're
because
so smart.
the
We can
oral
figure out how to
history is
build
like starts way after then. You know what I mean? Whenever this was built, the oral history of what this is, it starts way after.
Well, it's just like you telephone. Yeah, you just fucking.
Well, I don't believe that a civilization that built that didn't have a way to communicate or like pass this information. Because like we said, I guess if we're thinking magic, because if you pass this down, because if you didn't have plans and you're just like, I think, you imagine that you're trying to plan this thing out when you're like, we're not going to write any of this down. I'm going to tell you guys what I think this is supposed to look like over the course of the next 4 generations.
Some guy just went and stuck some sticks in the sand. He's like, here.
I'm just going to fucking eyeball this thing.
No, but here, seriously, maybe they did write all this down and then they had to write over it, right? Because there was a great shortage of whatever the fuck they wrote this on, right?
Of the fucking stone tapes.
I mean, we recorded over the fucking moon footage.
True.
Moon landing footage. So it makes sense, right?
At least we had footage to record over, though.
There was no footage because it never happened.
It would have been different if we're like...
Fucking never happened, Zell.
But I mean, if we didn't have... Imagine we didn't have... It'd be like, this is the equivalent of if we went to the moon, but we didn't have language. And then people just told the next generation that we went to the moon with nothing else. That just like, we went to the moon. It was me. It was your uncle. It was your great uncle.
I subscribe to the fucking magic now that I'm thinking about. If this civilization had no fucking written history, I'm like, how do you fucking build this without anything? I'm like, you need 2 sorcerer brothers with magic to build this quickly, or else how fucking difficult this would be. I can't even begin to fathom how fucking annoying. Imagine you had a boss and you're like, this motherfucker wasn't even alive when this thing started. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. We're just stacking rocks on the other rocks.
No, it makes sense now, actually, after talking to Mad Mark. The Anunnaki have always been here. They're still here. They continue to intervene. It could be, if it's not pre-Younger Dryas or whatever, it's still the Anunnaki. They could come whenever. Find like an isolated people, show up, become the sorcerer gods. You know what I mean?
Dude, and how horny they were, probably turned into
fucking
a little
everyone.
Epstein Isle.
Right, and then so if those brothers were Anunnaki, some type of alien being, and then the god of thunder or whatever, this lightning god, was another Anunnaki, another battle. We know that the Anunnaki love war more than us, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Way more than we love war. They take it to a whole new level. So they're still fighting. And that's the story. If you want to go that route, that's all I can tie in there. Like, if it's not actually a pre-Diluvian civilization. It's just fucking aliens showed up, and they have the magic, they got the power, they got the tech. But why would you? If you're an alien race and you need gold or whatever, why are you building that? What's the point of that one? Pyramids,
that's
power plant.
That's where
I get
it. Dude, you've got slaves doing it. That's where you go to relax. Right? That's your little resort. That's a little beach house. Everybody fucking hangs out, enjoys their time, goes for a swim while everybody works hard getting your gold.
It's like the Florida Keys.
Yeah.
The rich people build all their houses there. And
why not? They have fucking vacation homes. Why not? We like vacation. Maybe they're a fucking war hard, party hard civilization.
But we know how white they are, so they wouldn't do well in the sun.
Yeah, but we know how white they are. They would love to fucking lounge by a body of water.
They got good sunscreen.
Good sunscreen, 100%. And I took offense when he said they're white. They're translucent. They're white. There's no way like I would look
beyond
tan compared
white
to them. Yeah, 100%, dude. If they're that far from the sun, you probably like some of the accounts of them. You can see their bones. Like you can see their bones through their skin. So it's like to call them white is
it's translucent. Translucent. It looks gray.
Yeah,
you would say. See their bones, see their blood pumping. I don't know. That's all I got on that. Final thoughts, Dan?
They were fish people, and this is where they summoned up Cthulhu from here.
Love it.
Individuals.
That's where they showed up. So the sorcerers were actual sorcerers. They were worshippers of the old ones, and this is where they concentrated their power to summon up one of the ancient gods, like Cthulhu. I think I read somewhere that it's like it's very possible that this was one of the inspirations for H.P. Lovecraft's like the city of R'lyeh, because it is both that city, even though they'd be couple thousand miles apart. Like the exact location has latitude and longitude, but like that city, they're both in the Pacific, and the whole like non-Euclidean geometry is probably might have come from like early descriptions, like written descriptions, historians and archaeologists like putting these into magazines, and H.P. Lovecraft reading about these and being like, he saw like, just the way that it's built and the way that those basalt columns, like it's not a typical like Western structure. Like, where we have just like our solid, bricks and blocks. You'd have these like hexagonal, columns like stacked on top of each other, and it would just look very, strange and alien to a lot of the, a lot of the mainstream culture and stuff like that. So it's just like, there's a good chance like he'd be reading this and was inspired to write some of that stuff. But I don't think it's been confirmed. But I think a lot of H.P. Lovecraft like historians are like, yeah, it's a pretty good chance like that probably inspired it.
That's cool.
Got to take inspiration from somewhere. Anything else? Would you miss anything?
Nope.
Got the Sorcerer Brothers. How'd they move those damn stones? We don't know.
I'm magic on this one. All magic, baby.
Seems
That's the only thing that makes sense.
It's technology we don't understand,
else doesn't make
therefore
sense.
magic.
Magic.
I'm on board with that. All right, this week I got to read a few beauties who went over to patreon.com.
Hell yeah.
They
Let's
search
go.
for alien theorists
They're
theorizing.
not on the Epstein list. These beauties,
These
not
people
on the
are
Epstein
certified
list.
not on the Epstein list.
100%.
You want to clear your name? Get on our Patreon. Patreon.com/alien
Complete absolution.
theorist theorizing. Or Theorist Pod.
Theorist Pod. Just the easiest way is just patreon.com, search for alien theorists theorizing. Can't miss it. There's only one.
Yeah.
There can only be one. This week, actually, we got a few weeks. We're going to go back a few weeks because we kind of missed. We had an interview and some other stuff. So we have Peppery, Christian
Let's go, Peppery.
Chavez,
Chavez.
Lauren Coleman,
Coleman. Let's go.
Tesla Tech, Donovan. I think that's about as far back. I'll read a couple more. Maybe get a dub.
Let's do it. Make it sad. Let's buff the numbers.
Buffett, Brenton
Yeah, buff
Appling,
it.
Trevor
Let's go.
Brome,
Yeah. Hell
Cam
yeah.
Dog,
Ham dog. Ow.
Ryan Dunkerley,
Donks.
and James Wenkheimer. I recognize the last few names, I think, but
Let's go.
you're lucky you got it.
Wenkheimer.
Dubs.
It's a good fucking name. You gotta say it twice.
Wenkheimer. Love it.
Fucking wank.
And
That
as
was
we
fun.
always say at the end of these things, keep those fucking eyes on the skies.
See you in after hours.
If you're a podcast host, listen up. This one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle. And I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.